Martin. It's 8:35. Tom Martin, let's talk about build and what you found out, brother. It's your event.
So good morning, everyone. George, aren't we doing a build follow-up call on Tuesday? Is that what we're doing?
We are.
Okay, so I'm not going to dig into everything
of
build, but I want to give you some stuff that's going to really kind of talk about what the market and what we're looking at in the market. And I was really absolutely blown away and impressed with all the speakers, but one speaker in particular. We're talking driving into your production, right? So I'm going to dig into that, and I'm going to share some slides that's going to be of value to you. Now, if you want to screenshot any of those slides, that's fine. If you want me to put all those photos of those slides, those photos that I took, I'm not the best photographer. I just scrolled in. I tried to do the best I could, and then I'll share those off into the chat box. So good morning. Most of our Friday calls, all of our calls are to put things into action, right? So these calls are designed for you guys. There's I can't, some coaches keep track of how many hours of coaching they've done in their lifetime. I don't. All I know is I've been doing it for over 9.5, probably over 10 years now, maybe even 11. I don't know, George, 10 or 11 years. And I've met with some of the top agents. And by the way, I've been in the business since 2000, and I went through the crash, guys. George and I went through a market smash crash. I was blindsided. So I was driving down I-4 and I was rear-ended and hit from the side and the front and everything else by all these tractor trailers. I got crushed, not literally in an accident, but that's how it felt. I was blindsided. I didn't even feel it. I didn't see it. But here's the real truth. I wasn't blindsided. Several people said to me, hey, Tom, keep your eyes open. Things may be turning. And I didn't listen to them because I knew everything. How many people on the call know everything, right? Right? Gina, you're right there. So with a smile, she said it. And I want to share with you, you don't. And own it. Get your ego out of the way, because you know what? You're going to be very humble in the next few months, and you're going to appreciate all the digging in that we're going to do for you guys. So I want to share some really good things that they shared that I went, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that. I went from high production to no production, and then I went back to the basics and got my production back. It's amazing how things work. So who was an order taker the last 18 months, 2 years, and thought they were the best realtor in the world? Deborah, thank you for your honesty, right? Because this gentleman said this on stage. Hey, you guys were order takers. You were too busy to do what you needed to do to build a business. You were just taking orders. Those are gifts. By the way, mortgage applications are down over 65%. Mortgage applications are down over 65%. And here's why. Number one is the refinance, right? Everybody, the gift of 2.9, 3.2. I remember hearing someone go 3.5. I've never refinanced for that. Gosh, I'll wait till it comes back to 2% again. Right? So it was a gift. It was a gift. And what's our main job as agents? What's our number one job as a realtor? Number one job is to lead generate, but the number one job and responsibility we have is to educate the community and the consumer with the facts. Now, if you're educating them with negativity, guess what you just did? You helped another agent get business from you, because you stirred them away from you. If you're engaging in negative comments on Facebook, get away from it. I promise you, you're gonna fall into a ditch, and your customers are gonna see that negativity. All right, so here's what. So Bill Pipes, former coach with Keller Williams Maps Coaching, and now is with John Cheplick's group as one of their top coaches. Very impressive. I actually stopped him and was talking to him after the gym one morning, yesterday morning, and really just kind of, he's really serious about this. And a lot of agents right now are feeling a little scared or defeated. Would that be okay to say? Is some of you feeling a little scared and defeated? And that's okay. That's okay. We're going to work through that today. Some of you are going, no, this is opportunity. And you're right. That's it too, because it is. It's about opportunity. All right. So today, what I want you to focus on and think about is, what am I going to do to create production without having to pay big money for it? Okay. What am I going to do to get great production and not have to pay a ton of money for it? So I'm going to go into this. So bill pipes. So I'm going to open this up and share my screen with you guys. And if you can see it, just give me a thumbs up. Anybody give me a thumbs up? All right. Can you see it clear enough, or do I have to open it up bigger? Like that? How's that? Sasha, can you see that good?
Perfect.
All right. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, what's happening in the real estate market is we're going through a shift. By the way, it's still a seller's market, but we have to educate the consumer enough. So we have to be educated. We got to be educated within. We have to make adjustments to the model. See, top agents, what they're doing is they're making adjustments to their model, right? So as a top agent, as a new agent, if you're a brand new agent, listen to what we need to do here, and that's lead generate. The double down on the fundamentals of the business. You have to get your skill set, your mindset, and your habits in order. Your skill set, your mindset, and your skill set, mindset, and habits in order. All right, and you got to act now. You got to do it now. You have to do it now. And what happens is we become. I'm going to go to the next slide here. This one here, which is awesome. I love this one right here. Can you guys see that? Let me get it a little bit smaller. All right. The best businesses are prospecting based, marketing enhanced. So if you're putting out stuff on Facebook, I'm a realtor, please call me. Guys, I'm not sure that's the best marketing tool. Is it an additional marketing tool? Yes. I want you to think about being prospecting based. What is prospecting? Prospecting is picking 1, 2, or 3 things that make you uncomfortable and go do it until you become comfortable. How's that? Well, I don't want to make a cold call because they're going to hang up on me and yell at me. If you all have kids, you've been hung up on and yelled at before anyway. Okay? Get over it. Get some thicker skin because you're going to need it right now. If you don't like to be hung up on or yelled at or anything else, then find another way. Door knock. Well, it's hot. Okay, get over it. You don't want to get hot and door knock. Why don't you do something else? Why don't you do some geofarming? Why don't you get into your cell phone? Why don't you start lead generating out of what's right in front of you? Now I'm looking to hire someone, and I want to pay them $200,000 a year of a salary. Okay, I want to pay them $200,000 salary, and all I want them to do is show up every day on time. They have to be in the office by 8 o'clock, right? Who's interested in applying for that position? Sasha, would you be interested in that for 200,000, right? You got to be in the office.
I'll be there at 7:59.
7:59. Okay. And what I need you to do is I need you to get on a call every morning from 8:30 to 9:30. Can you do that? Okay. And then what I need you to do is I need you to talk to 20 people per day about real estate out of my database. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay. So you need to talk to 100 people in a week. And I'm going to give you all the names and numbers and everything else. You're going to do that, right?
I will for 200,000.
Okay. Now, here's the other thing I need you to do. All I need you to do is set up 2 appointments per week, and then you can have the rest of the time to yourself. Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's gonna be 1 hour of time between 1 and 2 that I need you to do for this position, and you need to do follow-up to everybody that you spoke to previously. Is that okay?
For 1 hour?
For 1 hour. Okay, so you need to show up on time at 7:59. You need to be on calls from 8:30 to 9:30. You need to talk to 20 people in my database or door knock in a certain community because it's hot. And I know you don't like to walk in that heat, but for 200,000, you're going to knock on 20 doors, right?
Yes, with
Okay.
an umbrella hat.
With an umbrella hat and a fan and all that other stuff, right? So, and then you have to follow up with all the people you spoke to for 1 hour from 1 to 2. And then all I need you to do is go on 2 appointments per week between anywhere from 4 to 6, whatever time you decide. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Sasha. What I just explained to you is a $240,000 income owning your own business. Why aren't we doing it?
Mhm. And I'm
And
going to do it for
I'm
you
not
for
picking on you
200.
directly. I'm using this as an example. So what I want you to understand is we have to be prospecting based. We have to be marketing enhanced. Now, who here has had a pest control company knock on their door to try and sell them pest control? Insurance, they knock on doors. Guys, you must be busy, you must be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. If you're not going to do this, Bill Pipe said this right on stage, and he was extremely blunt about it. Get the hell out of the business. Seriously, you're here for a reason. And I want you to take 1 minute, no less than a minute, 30 seconds. And those of you who are not driving, don't do this. Those of you who are driving, don't do this. I want you to, and I said this to you before, write down, why do you do real estate? Why do you do real estate? Go ahead and write it down. Now the answer that you wrote down, why did you write that answer down? Why is that answer important? What will that do if you achieve it? Is it money? Is it vacations? And then one more, why is the second answer so important to you? See, there was a speaker up there talking about asking himself 7 levels of questions, quarterly, monthly, weekly, on his goals. And by the time he hits the 7th level, it's all about his family legacy and his grandkids. And when he's gone, what's his legacy in 150 years when he's gone? What did he leave behind for his his kids, grandkids, and great grandkids, right? So if that is so important to you and you have an opportunity to come and work for me for $200,000 a year, why aren't you doing it for yourself and for what you wrote down? So Bill coaches several people in the Agent Academy, and some of the things that they talk about in that Agent Academy is, should you be afraid or should you be scared of what is coming in? Okay, now I want you guys to understand, National Association of Realtors wrote this, the business will be down 30% and so will the realtors next year. Business is going to be down 30% in volume, and so will the amount of realtors. So that means how many people we have on this call right now? 72 people, 30%, 20-something agents on this call will not be here in February. Are you one of them? And if you think you are one of them, then I want you to think differently. You can do this. Listen. Guy without a college education, and Billy made it through high school. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. Seriously, I don't even know how to write well. So my wife corrects it all. So I send everything to her and she writes it. All I know is I know how to meet people, connect people, and communicate with people. And that's my gift. So I'm telling you right now, if you're an introvert, that's okay too. Because I know many introverts that succeed at such a high level because they're so organized in everything else. Extroverts, we know everything and we just go at it and then we fix all the mistakes on the way. Well, here's what I want you to think about. You shouldn't be afraid. You should be afraid if you don't have the skills for the upcoming market. Who wants to serve their customers at the best and the highest level possible? And I'm only picking on you, Sasha, just because you're right there. I'm going to scroll down this list here. Who wants to represent their customers at the highest level? So if I say, and I'm not picking on you, Sasha, here's a listing appointment. They want to list their home for $600,000. Go ahead and go on that listing appointment.
I'll be there.
If you'll be there, right? But are you prepared? Are you pulling the right comparables? Are you skilled in your scripts and dialogue? Are you going with the mindset? I just got a $600,000 listing before you walked in the door. See, own it and accept it before it even happens. So you got to build your skill set right now. So what was also interesting is some of the top athletes in the world, I didn't know this about LeBron, but LeBron James's conditioning coach said LeBron shoots 1,400 free throws every single day. So he's just not naturally a pro athlete. 1,400 free throws. I can't even imagine how many hours does that take. I don't even know. You do 60 an hour. I don't even know how many hours that is. 4.5, 5 hours. So he spends that much time free throwing every single day. Serena Williams, they talk about her conditioning 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day. Guys, if you're not conditioning yourself for buyers, for sellers, and really preparing for any buyer or seller, you are practicing on the consumer and you are not representing them well. You're not. You're not representing them well. So you're practicing on them. So you're practicing real estate. Who wants to be a professional at real estate? We all do. And by the way, I read scripts all the time still, guys. I do. Because sometimes I'll get stale in what I'm saying and I got to go back and go, man, I missed that question. That's the most important thing. Okay? Build your skill set. And if you don't build your skill set, go to work for another team. Go work on a team. Maybe you're designed for a team and you just want to work with a bunch of the leads that they have. Don't do it because you're desperate. Do it because I want to be on a team. Paul Saperstein has a big team. Steve Pugh has a team. Lizette's looking for agents to join our team. Leary's looking for agents to join on our team. There's plenty of agents that are looking for team members. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you desire. But if you desire to own your own business and move forward, you better build your skill set. Not only just your skill set, but your mindset. Because the mind is going to be the full control over whether you succeed or not. Because everything that you tell yourself will happen. So an interesting concept that I heard was, so these Boy Scouts go to a camp and they do river rafting, right? So there was a lot of rain and heavy rain, and it was a day after tons and tons of rain, so the rapids were extremely rough. So one of the parents said to the guide, "No, I think it's too rough." He said, "No, they're going to be fine." He goes, "But the water's really rough and there's a lot of rocks and there's a lot of trees and a lot of sticks." He goes, "Well, that's not what we look for. What we look for is the clear area, and we focus on that. We don't focus on the rocks and the sticks and everything else." So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on all the objections, or are you learning your scripts to handle the objections? By the way, there's an amazing script booklet. Who wants it? Who hasn't received an amazing script booklet and wants one? Well, here's what I want you to do. I I'll mess that name up. I apologize. Ruth, I won't mess yours up, Ruth, but Boyce, I apologize if I didn't say your first name. But here's the thing. We have an entire script booklet inside of the Icon GPS in Workplace. It's a full script booklet for sale by owners, door knocking, expired, just listed, just sold, sphere of influence. You have the tools, guys. You have the tools. All right. You haven't developed the discipline for the market. So basically the discipline, are you preparing to be, are you disciplining yourself for the work that you got to do? And you don't have a clear strategy of what you need to do. Guys, we're in August. We're a few days from September. The month of October, not only will I do business planning on a call for Zoom, but I'm going to do in person around the state of Florida. And Kara, if you're on the call, I even told Kara I'd go up to Huntsville, Alabama, if she organized it with a title company to do it. I plan on doing a minimum of 10 business planning classes. There's no reason you should miss any of them. And if I'm doing in person, I'm not recording it. Just letting you know that. So if they say, oh, there's one in Orlando in person, it's not being recorded. If you want it recorded, have someone go there and record it. I'm not getting in front of, I'm not preparing that. What I'm preparing for is to be in front of people and do it. I will have one online as well, though. I'm going to do a Zoom one like this here. Okay. They're a little bit different when you do them on a Zoom versus in person. It seems like it's not as, I don't know, it's pretty interactive. You will get everything you need, though. So do you have a clear strategy of what you need to do? Okay. So that was extremely, extremely important. And I loved everything about it. Let me see what this one was. The great eight mental resets. This was pretty awesome. A new mindset creates a new result. A new mindset creates a new result. Now, guys, you really got to make sure you get your mind in order. You got to get your gut in order, get your mind in order, get your physical, whatever you want to, mentally, spiritually, health, all that in order, right? It goes with habits. And I have this triangle that I live by, and it's habits, mindset, skill set will always, as long as I have my goals and my calendar in line, and my habits and mindset and skill set, I'll earn the income I desire in the middle. 10 minutes practicing dialogues. Basically, you need to do 10 minutes every day. I always say 15 minutes. And I thought Bill Pipes was a stronger coach than I ever had. And he's saying 10 minutes, right? So Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, the Coach Agent Coaching Academy, all of them. So I know some of the, Dan Beer was on stage, and now Dan Beer does probably 300 million in sales a year. And he scripts and role plays every day. 10 gratefuls and wins. This was pretty awesome. What are you grateful for? 10 gratefuls and 10 wins every single day. Send a gratitude message. 10 minutes of exercise. It goes back to the miracle morning, 10 minutes of exercise, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of reading. There's 6 items there, and that's 1 hour. You have the time. You choose not to make the time. Because if I looked at your daily activities in your phone, I can wipe out tons of stuff. I can too. Look at your screen time. How much time are you spending on Facebook scrolling around everybody else's success? That's false success. It's all fake news. Right? So 10 minutes of 10 affirmations. I do affirmations every single day. I read scripture every single day. I got my daily reader right here, right there, right by my desk. Every single day. I have affirmations right on my counter by my where I brush my teeth. Bless those who persecute you. What they think of you is none of your business. I say that every day. All right. Again, right here, 10 pages of reading, 10 minutes of meditation. If I'm not a good meditator, but I do give myself some time in the morning just to kind of put my head together for the day. 10 minutes of digital auto learning, I don't do that, but these are just some things here that you can do. 10 conversations that leads into prospects. Remember I said 20 per day? He's only saying 10 that lead into prospects. Okay. So if the top coach, one of the top coaches in the country is coaching his 100, 200, $3 million, $300 million teams into doing those basic things, why aren't we? We're not too good for it, I promise you. You know, I was out of my comfort zone yesterday in Tony Robbins' room. I don't like to get up and jump around and all that stuff. I just don't. Right, Lizette? Right? I don't like that stuff. Tass is right here. He was there. I know Tass is not a big fan of running around, jumping and high-fiving and, you know, all that yelling stuff. That's just not me. I like being in a room and having conversations, but I was out of my comfort zone, but I didn't run out the door and hide. I did it. And by the way, it was awesome. Right? I'm like, I don't want to jump around like that. I want to feel like an idiot. But guess what? Everybody else is doing it too. Right now on this call, we have 67 agents, and I'm looking right at Mr. and Mrs. Fuentes' picture right there, and they script and role play every day. Tony Fuentes scripts and role plays every day. Steve Pugh scripts and role plays every single day. Every single day. Okay, these are agents who have been in the industry for a very long time. So what I really got out of that session was get your skill set, really nail your skill set for your listing presentation, your buyer presentation. And by the way, just a quick little tip. When you go on a listing presentation, own it before you walk in. You'll walk in out of there with a listing agreement if you choose to list it. It's your choice. See, they want to sell with you. They want you to list their home. You just don't ask them to sign the paperwork because you're scared. Oh, just call me when you're ready to sign. No. Every appointment I ever went on, hey, Lizette, this is Tom. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and list your home today. I will see you at 1 o'clock and I'll be on time. Thank you. Well, we didn't say we were going to list with you. Well, after we meet, I know I'm going to be the right person for you. Well, I don't know. We haven't even met. Perfect. I will see you at 1. Go in the home. Thank you for the opportunity for me to come and list your home today. That's what I say. I'm training their brain to say yes, and I'm hearing their objections so I can get through it. And by the way, those who speak the most win. Lose, sorry. So allow them to speak. Allow them to answer the questions, and don't just answer the question. Tell me why that's important. Dig deeper. Oh, so if we can get through that, are you prepared to list your home with me today? You may not have to do a whole presentation. Get your listing presentation prepared now and practice it. There's great questions in there. You can go right to the EXP market materials. You can personalize it to yourself. Oh, well, it doesn't sound like me. We'll get over it and say it enough times, it'll sound just like you. Honestly. So what I heard through everyone I spoke to that's highly successful is they're so excited for the shift in the market that they are so prepared because they've already done all the work. See, when we're order takers, that's extra. Now it's time to work. Now it's time to dig in. Now it's time to figure out, whoa, what's my business plan? How am I going to achieve it? Now, I'm not promoting off making it rain, but I am going to tell you right now, if you're looking for leads inside of KV Core, making it rain. I spent $250 a month, and for 6 months, I only did it for 6 months just to see if it worked. I wanted to make sure it worked, and I never bought leads before, by the way. And I believe Kim closed 4 sales out of those leads. And by the way, there was probably over 100 leads that came in, and a lot of them weren't followed up with. Okay, so for $250 a month, you can get anywhere from 15 to 20 leads. There was a gentleman that told me, he goes, hey, we were talking and I said, well, where's your success in your business? He goes, I used to pay $5,000 a month for Zillow. And I was like, really? I said, you spent $5,000 a month on Zillow? He goes, yeah. And he goes, but when I came to EXP, I started using KV Core and I spent $1,000 a month and I closed 3 times more business. I closed 3 times more business. So he spends 1,000 versus 5,000 and closes 3 times more business. So it works. I'm not saying go spend $1,000. I'm not saying go spend $250. What I'm saying is, if you're looking for an opportunity to get some leads, that's a great opportunity there without spending a ton of money. And by the way, get a lender and have them help you pay for it. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. Any ahas, anything? I'm going through the questions, coaching calls, Ruth. Let's see. Happy hour. Okay, one thing. Only thing I know is I don't know enough. I mean, that's you're right on. Lead generate and educate. It's our responsibility. Ali, that is awesome. Lead generate and educate. We have an obligation to be honest. By the way, was mind-blowing. How do you know when someone's being authentic? When they tell the truth and when they believe in it. When they tell the truth and when they believe in it, they're authentic. That was a huge aha for me. That was from Dean Grasso. He's an author, probably close to a billionaire. But he said, how do you know when someone's authentic? It's when they're telling the truth and when they believe in what they're saying. Let's see. Love these comments in here. Yes, I will be in South Florida, Gina. That's something that'll be arranged. George will be taking care of all that. I think it was sometime in September. He was working on something down there. It's going to be 2 spots in South Florida. I think Fort Lauderdale and Boca area, I think, or something like that. I don't know. But George is handling that. And all right, so it's open. I just went through all the chat. Sorry, guys. All right, so what are your ahas? What do you love? Gina, you got your hand up. What's going on? Good morning.
Hi, I'm just curious. Everyone tells everyone to go door knock, but being a woman, I'm not really thinking that that's a very safe thing to do alone. So nobody tells anybody to go with somebody else. Everybody always says just go door knocking. It's not that easy if you have nobody around you.
Yeah, I get you. So here's the thing, Gina. Yes, that's a very valid. You want to always be safe, right? So, and this is, this young man, his name was Andre, and he was brand new to real estate, and he did telephone sales. He worked for like T-Mobile or something like that, and he was African American. And he says everyone talks about door knocking. I'm a young African American knocking on doors. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I said, that's okay. You're a human being. Go knock on the doors with someone else. Partner with someone. Partner with someone. And by the way, Gina, knocking on doors is not something I do either, unless it's someone that needs a certain property. Now, I will tell you this. If you can find a partner for knocking on doors, do it. If not, there's a lot of other ways, right? There's tons of other ways for that to happen. The most important thing that we have that we don't use enough for the right reasons is this thing here. It's called an iPhone or whatever you guys use. If any of you tell me that you don't have time to make calls to your database, you're lying to me, because your phone is in your freaking hand 24/7. Matter of fact, you probably sleep with it like this on your chest. So if you say you don't have time, that's bullcrap. Because if you got sick today or your car ran out of gas, you're going to find a way to get gas in that car. You're going to find a way to get healthy. So just do it. And then by doing it, you're going to create a better life for yourself. Go ahead, Ollie. Go ahead.
Just a tip on door knocking, and this is something that I've been trying to figure out if it'll work or not. But if you live in Florida, partner with an insurance agent or an insurance rep, home insurance rep, and go door knocking. Because right now, I'll guarantee you that they may not want to buy or sell, but their insurance premiums have gone up, or maybe they're about to get
That's
dropped.
a freaking great.
That's a
That's-
great starter. They might not be interested in real estate, but at least you got the insurance agent there, your tag team. It's going to help both of you, and you're not doing it alone. So that might be a tip to use if you're in Florida.
I just got my insurance guy to do some advertising with me.
That's great.
Mhm.
Ali, that is fantastic because insurance right now is a need for the consumer. It's a necessity. You need to have it, and it starts the conversation.
Yeah, and it's all about education because right now, I don't know if you saw this morning again in the Wedge 2 News, another insurance company just left Florida this morning. So we're down to like 3 main ones.
Guys, it's getting tough out there, and you have a responsibility for your success to do it. Get out there and educate them. Ali, thanks for bringing that up. Lizette, I see a hand by your forehead.
Yeah. Yeah, my screen is sideways, so I'm trying to keep. Yeah, I just wanted to share about the door knocking. I actually did a lot of door knocking before. One of the things that worked for me, because I go to neighborhoods that sometimes are kind of iffy. So I would be on the phone with my mom or somebody, or share your location before you go, or let people know, hey, I'm gonna go door knocking, just so you know, to keep track of you. So you can share your location with your friends. So if something happens to you, or you can do something, maybe a signal, a text that can give out emergency code if something's wrong. So, I mean, just sharing that out there because sometimes, I can call my insurance agent, but sometimes I would go door knocking or somebody they can't go. There's other ways that you can keep safe.
Well, I love that Donna put the same thing in the chat that Lizette was just talking about. There are some buddy system safety apps out there that you can do, but here's the other thing. There's tons and tons of ideas out there outside of door knocking. I will tell you, when the market crashed in 2008, door knocking was not the way to sell homes. You can call people and get tons of listings. 1 in 3 homes was in foreclosure. If there was 100 listings, 80 of them were either short sales or REOs. And then the ones that weren't short sales or REOs were overpriced and they weren't selling. So they were going to expired listings. And George was the biggest REO agent in the world. He'll tell you, we're not going that. I don't believe we're going to go in that direction. By the way, I did have breakfast with Jason Guessing yesterday morning. And I asked him, I said, what are the 2 things you're most excited about of the direction of EXP? And here's what he said. You ready? I said, for the agents, not for EXP. I said, for the agents. Here's what he said. The first thing he said was, get everyone certified in relocation immediately. Here's why. So there's a huge company called Watson. And if you're with Watson and you're on the call, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. It's like a dusty old model. It's just not sexy model. It's just not. And they have a huge relocation program. And by the way, it goes through, and Coldwell Banker does too, it goes through a system. And by the time Gina refers that through relocation, she gets like a couple $100, right? Versus an actual referral fee. Guys, the relocation is massive. And they're building these relationships with some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies for this relocation program. So get certified. And by the way, guess how much it costs to get certified for relocation with EXP? Donna, thank you for putting the price of that up there. Big fat zero. There's other red companies out there that they serve Kool-Aid on a regular basis. And they brainwash you to be all these other things. By the way, I was there 17 years. I love them. I still do. But they charge you you want to be a luxury agent? That's $1,500 a year. Oh, you want to be you want to be have a new home designation? Oh, that's $299 a month. Hey, you want blah blah blah? Let's pay this. So you're being bled all this money when here at EXP it's free. It's free. With the $85 a month. Alec,
Hey bud, how are you?
I'm well.
No, you kept bringing up the aha moment, and I apologize. I'm jumping between
Man, good to see you, man.
conversations. Nice
Hey,
to
by
see
the
you.
way, I'm probably gonna speak out for this, and George will probably say, Tom, hush. Did you make the switch yet?
September 1st. So actually, that day we were together, that deal that I put under. I'm not sure if you remember the day we
Yeah,
were at the
yeah, I
convention.
remember that was a pretty big one.
Yeah, that one. We got the confirmation. It closes the 30th or 31st. So
Perfect, man. We're excited for you and your family.
yeah, if it was smaller, I would have moved over already. But just because of the size, it's I don't want to jeopardize or mess anything up. But what I was going to say, you kept bringing up the aha moment. Me personally, I'm not sure if this goes for anybody else. Any new endeavor I've jumped into, keep going until you make one deal out of it or you gain one good prospect, and that confidence within yourself goes through the roof. And once that first deal, that first prospect, that first client comes out of whatever prospecting model you go for, I promise you the compounding effect afterwards, that one that took 3 weeks turns into two that took 2 weeks, that turns into three that took 1 week, that turns into 10 that took 3 days. Once you succeed, and our battles are always with ourselves. It's not with a potential client. It's not with your neighbor. It's not with an agent next to you. It's always within yourself, or at least myself. But I do know that any prospecting model I've ever gone about, that first deal that has come from it has amplified all the business that tends to come directly afterwards. So if I could say one thing that helped me, and I would imagine helps everybody else, whatever prospecting model you go for, don't stop until you get one deal out of it. And after you get that one deal out of it, if you don't like it, if it doesn't float your boat, that's fine. But promise yourself and make a deal with yourself, you will continue to do it until one deal comes out of it. And I promise you, you will see the compounding effect of that one deal. My mother, love her to death. She's a Mexican immigrant. She'll never give me the praise that I always want. But I got a job when I was younger. I was 15, I believe. I sold Dish Network to a blind lady. And that was the first time I got praise from my mother. That one deal selling Dish Network at 15, I ended up being the #1 salesperson in the company my second week. So the reason I bring that up, like I said, is that one deal or that one prospect, that one client that comes out of whatever endeavor you're going through, don't stop until you get the first one. And you will see how much it benefits life and the longevity behind it.
That's awesome. Alec, I got a question for you, if you don't mind answering.
No
You
problem.
know, I know a lot of agents say, well, I can't switch. I got a deal going on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, how much is the deal? Well, it's 150. And I, you know, I really, they'll take my commission. How much is your that sale? What's the volume?
3,060,000.
Yeah. And then the one before that we had talked about, I think it was what, 10 million, 11 million, something like that.
10.3 and then 4.2 and then 1.8 double ended and then
So
4.
So do these customers come running to you and go, hey, I heard you're in real estate and you sell multi-million-dollar investment properties. Can you go ahead and list this and represent me, or do you have to hunt?
No, they come to me now.
Yeah, they
But-
come to you now. But what happened at the beginning, man?
In the beginning, I had to prove myself.
You did.
I deal primarily in the investment world.
Yeah.
And one thing here in Central Florida that most wealthy people have in common, they all know each other. So if you do right by them, you're good in the circle for life. But you got to remember, I have to always make sure to remind myself that my job is to be a financial animal compared to everybody else in the industry.
Yeah.
That one deal that comes out well with the high ROI turns into 2. That second one turns into 5. That 5 turns into 20. And then it gets to the point where George will let you know. I tell my clients, I'm very honest with them because we're dealing with a couple of dollars. It's not exactly 2% milk and cookies at 7-Eleven. If I say buy, they buy. If I say don't buy, they don't buy. And I created a model where I'll take the property from 0 to 50% stabilization. That client that took it from 0 to 50 now will liquidate to another one of my clients who will take it from 50 to 100% stabilization. The original client from 0 to 50% stabilization did a 1031 exchange, so we have to re-roll that money over. Well, we roll that money over from a client that took it from 50 to 100% because it has high rent rolls. Once we buy cash, we can now refi the property back out because the rental income is so high, it allows the debt service conversion ratio to max out our LTV. And then that other client that took it from 50 to 100, we do the same thing with the 1031, put it all cash, make sure it has high rent rolls, we refi out. And now it's a system where one client takes from 0 to 50, another client takes it from 50 to 100, another client grabs that 100 to refi out, so we can go start and build 2 more properties that start at 0. And
Alex,
create a system.
You know, the language you're speaking to most of us is like, we don't understand that, right? So as we translate that into you growing your business and not just you're in the commercial side with investment stuff, but you just didn't, you practiced, you learned, you created new habits, you got a skill set, you built relationships. It wasn't where, hey, I'm brand new and I'm sitting here and I'm going to work this out. You did the work.
I like to read. To this day, I still probably read between 3 to 6 hours a day. I read. I love to read, and
how do you have time to do that and sell the volume? I mean, aren't you supposed to be busy with that? You know, the kids and the dog and the spouse, and you don't have time, and you're on social media and all that other stuff.
I don't have social media. I don't have any social media. I don't really watch TV.
Oh, you don't have social media, and you're still being successful. That's a great thing too.
But one thing was my very first brokerage that I worked at. It was an REO foreclosure company. They it was my first or second deal, and that deal had an unpermitted addition, and the incoming buyer, it was a listing, it had an unpermitted addition, and the incoming buyer was FHA. I asked my broker, hey, is this possible? And oh no, it's not possible to do. Just because somebody tells me something's possible or not possible, I'll take it into consideration, but I'll go do my own work. I went and read all the FHA guidelines and bylaws and found out that FHA will approve a property with an unpermitted addition as long as it's done in professional workmanship like conduct, but will not account for that under air square footage towards appraised value. So once that clicked, I was like, oh, so FHA will do any property that's single family with an unpermitted addition as long as it's done in professional workmanship like conduct, and they won't account it for additional square footage within the appraisal. That first or second deal that I ever did, once I figured that out, everything I heard, I started to take with a grain of salt and make sure to do my own due diligence behind it. Not that I don't trust other individuals, but just to ensure that whatever answer was given to me, I've been able to validate it or support it with backed up facts.
Well, here's what I heard you say. You educated yourself. You took time to learn because it was an investment in you and it was an investment in the business. And I will tell you, you know, when I sat down, when I met Alex for the first time in Orlando, I probably met him before then, just didn't remember or anything. I was extremely blown away, impressed. I'm like, wow, here's an individual who made an investment in himself in order to give valuable information to the consumer to do business with him. See, that skill set, mindset, and habits. And if you choose not to build any of those, that's okay. But don't blame anybody else for your failure because you didn't do the work.
I'm smiling because of what you said. People come to me a lot and ask, oh, what do I invest in? Or where should I put my money? And I'll ask them a few questions. And 9 times out of 10, my answer is invest money into yourself. And until you've invested enough money in yourself that you understand a career path, or you understand a certain market, or you understand a certain prospective career down the road, unless you put enough money into yourself to be damn near a master in that, don't invest money in anything else. Keep investing the money back into yourself and it will pay out 10 times before. I mean, we can go all the way back to when Tesla, you know, it was $17 a share. Back then, you can be like, oh man, I could put all this money in Tesla, I would have made this much. No, if you would have taken all that money and reinvested back in yourself, your wealth of knowledge would have taken you wherever the hell you want to go.
That's right. Alex, thank you for that. And I want to kind of piggyback on that a little bit. These calls are fantastic. We get a lot of golden nuggets, right? There's a lot of golden nuggets that come out of these calls, and the talent that we have, and the people that have, I mean, you know, with Lizette saying something and Ali saying something and Alex saying, there's some things in there that's going to be beneficial for you and your business, right? So this is a success pattern of success. And you heard education, partner with somebody, you know, be safe. This is an industry where we have to continuously learn and grow.
Can I say
And
one
if you're-
last thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, one second. And if you don't have a coach and you say you can't afford a coach and, you know, whatever else, see if there's any group coaching programs that you can get involved in as a starter, right? Start off on these calls, do the action, do the activities to get started, whatever. I had an individual approach me in Dallas, and she's like, are you taking on any new coaching clients? And I'm saying, I can help you. Let's do a consultation and maybe I can put you with another coach. She goes, I'm desperate for a coach. My business is not thriving. You hear what I just said? My business is not thriving and I need a coach. Most of the time, people, when their business is not thriving, they don't get a coach. And I'm not saying go spend $5,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, 500, whatever it is, but get into something. And Tony Fuentes is huge on this too. He's always in programs. He's always doing something. So is Lizette, and so many of you that I know invest in themselves, but look for something like that. Stop going to another agent for the best advice. Sometimes that best advice from that agent is not the best advice for you. Go ahead, Alec.
I wanted to say, I have a 10th grade education. So just so everyone is aware, I'm not a business major. I'm not an economics major. I have a 10th grade education. And if I can do it, trust me when I tell you, anybody can.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that's your thing to say. I'm glad you brought that out. Yeah.
So just sometimes people think, oh, maybe your parents were, you know what I mean, hedge fund managers or high up in financing, or you have a major in business or economics. But no, I have a 10th grade education. And if my dumb ass can figure it out, anybody can.
He takes, Alex, one thing that's so impressive, you take the time to find the right answers like that FHA. You read all the guidelines and the documents. By the way, I wouldn't have done that at all. I would have came to an Alex and said, hey, by the way, what's some guidelines and everything else that you read it. But there's nothing wrong with that. And he was humble enough to share. He's not from extreme wealth. He's not from, he's not that prodigy child or whatever you want to call it. He's very humble. He worked hard to get what he's earning. Okay. Nobody's given him. He didn't get lucky. He did the work. And he reads 3 to 6 hours a day. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty darn, that's pretty darn impressive. All right, I'm opening it up to you guys a few more minutes, and then I have to get off at 9:35 the latest. This is your call. And Daryl, are you taking over that the after hour party, or because I know Tiffany had to get off, or who's taking over the after hour? Joe?
I'm not.
No? Okay. All right, so I do have up to 9:35. So any ahas, anything, questions, actions? Gina's like,
My aha was, I took it as being the only way to really understand how to come up with your own, with a system, and something that works with you, was just to do it. Just do it, learn from your experiences and move forward.
yeah.
So Sunday I'm hosting an open house, my first one. So it'll be my first experience.
You know what, Lorena, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna have huge results. You're gonna gain customers. You're gonna build relationships. You're gonna have fun, and you're looking forward to it, right? How many people are like, man, I got to do an open house. I really don't want to do this. Oh my God, why am I even doing this? Oh, I committed to it, so I'm just going to put the signs out. Hopefully someone comes by. Maybe no one comes by and I can shut it down early.
Yeah,
just set
I'm looking forward to
yourself-
meeting people. I mean, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to coming in and say, hey, look at the house, and take your time and provide me any feedback after you've looked through the property, and any questions, ask me a question and I'll try to give you an answer.
That's right. That's right. Well, love it. Gina, Evelyn, and then Ruth.
All right, I have a contract question that I'm very curious to hear what people would say about this.
Uh-oh, I'm probably not the best for that, but go
All
ahead.
right. Okay, so I'm just talking about today's world. So I have a client who absolutely hates where she lives. It's a great house. I have it listed. I'm not really getting many showings. I actually got one from Orlando, which was interesting because she drove 2.5 hours to come take her clients. But they want to buy another house. They are making me go take them to all these different places to see these other houses. And they think that I can put a contract in on contingent of them selling their house. I don't think, I mean, I know you couldn't before. I don't even know if that's even a thing right now.
Yes, you can. You can.
I was gonna say, I don't know about Florida, but I did that here in Tennessee.
You can. You can put a contract on a home contingent on a home selling. Just a lot of guidelines, not guidelines, but there's a lot of things that you want to do to protect your seller for the listing, because you don't want it tied up and then not price it right and then blah, blah, blah. So
You could actually put a contract on a property with a standard finance contingency in there. You do not have to notify them there's a home sale contingency. So the lender will write you a denial letter if that prior home doesn't sell. So under the base guidelines of a seller finance contingency, or sorry, a buyer's finance contingency, it's on page 2. If you just check it off conventional and then leave the next checkbox blank, it'll automatically fulfill 30 days. You don't have to say, hey, our offer is contingent on their home selling. No, our offer is contingent on their financing and being approved for financing.
Well, I
But
tried that.
if their sale doesn't go through, that has nothing to do with you. The loan is automatically denied.
Right, but then I could jeopardize their down payment, which could be $10,000 or $20,000.
no,
Oh, that's
No.
why there's a finance contingency in there.
That's-
Within
that's
that
why
30-day finance contingency, you can always have a denial letter written, and the lender will write the denial letter if that home isn't under contract or hasn't been sold within those 30 days. That that buyer's finance contingency as a whole will umbrella over any issues. An appraisal contingency. People always say, oh, I need an appraisal contingency. You got a finance contingency. You don't need an appraisal contingency. So there's bits of information you can give and keep that allow you to have a strong offer, get what you want, still be able to play ball while still protecting your buyer on the back end.
Well, but you only have 30 days. In today's world, the houses are not selling in 30 days. And if they
Girl,
really want that house.
I've done it. That's possible. There's a way to do it.
yeah. Gina, if you represent the seller and the offer comes in contingent on a sale of a home.
I'm the buyer.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
asked
so-
the seller from these people, I'm selling their house, but they
Yeah.
want to buy and they want contracts in everywhere.
Yeah, I would definitely get your buyer to be, that will be a seller, to say, we got to price your home aggressively to sell quickly within this time frame.
I did, but they.
If they don't want to price their home, if they don't want to price their home to sell, then you need to really think about the time that you're investing in them. Is it an investment, or is it, if they're not taking your advice to price the home to sell within that time period, you're doing a lot of work that's not
Well,
going to result.
it's not, I mean, right now, the last one that sold in there like 6 months ago was 365 and it was not great. Theirs I priced at 389. So it's
Yeah.
not horrible.
Yeah.
Do a price influx and then use that as a back end closing cost credit towards an incoming buyer. And if it minimizes the buyer's closing costs coming in, that could bring in much more business quickly versus leaving it at 389. You could turn around, put it at 399 with 3% closing cost credit. Now that's a $12,000 bump when it's coming out of their pocket, but it's only a $2,000 swing from your seller side. And having that closing cost credit in there of 3% for the incoming buyer would bring a lot more buyers in at the end of the day. And the buyers that are coming in, you're minimizing their cash out of pocket expense by $12,000. We're talking about a 5% down conventional. You're looking at roughly 40% cash out of pocket savings rather than coming in at 390, paying their own closing costs.
Yeah. Gina, there's a lot of and Alex, thanks for the advice on that contract side. But I would do this, find the best option for the buyer and the seller and work that, and make sure that the contract terms are really dead on to make sure that you protect them as well. Because you don't want to be in the middle of that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Evelyn.
Two things. First of all, I kind of came in late and I was just curious, what event did you attend? Was that the Tom Ferry?
No, actually Tom Ferry was in Dallas as well. So a lot of our EXP agents were there. We went to the Build conference in Dallas, and it was pretty amazing. And by the way, it's not an EXP conference, it's an agent conference, right?
Okay.
Brent Gove puts that on, not EXP. And it's absolutely amazing. It was a great time, a lot of valuable information, good relationship building opportunities. Whenever you go to these things, the most important thing is, you want to collaborate with your group and have fun and everything, but you got to get engaged in these rooms. You got to get engaged with people, and really, really take in as much as possible. So, hey,
Before you go on, the other thing I wanted to say real quickly to the person who was talking about the open house, I did an open house, didn't get absolutely anybody, but while I was there, I did stories. And as a result, I had people calling me, and that house didn't work out, but I was showing other homes as a result of it. So the stories worked for me. I just took like the nicest feature. I didn't show the whole house. I just showed like the nicest feature because this house was not pretty. So I just found one
So what do you
thing to
mean it's
focus on.
stories? What do you mean?
In Instagram and in Facebook, you can just do stories. And it just goes up for 24 hours. And because it's in the moment, people get notified who are in your, who either like your page or who are your friends, depending on whether you put it on a personal or a business. And it was somebody from my database that actually reached out and said, by the way, I saw that house I'm thinking of buying. So while I was there, I was kind of prospecting really in other ways.
Oh, so you could also do it on TikTok and whatever as well.
Yeah, but I don't know about TikTok. I know Instagram and Facebook has the stories, and you can also do live. So I did both of those. And that's
nice.
how I got additional people.
Hey guys, if you want to stay on, I gotta get off. I apologize. I have to run, but Joe, you got it all?
Yes.
Okay.
Take it
So
down.
Joe's gonna be here. Just put your time frame on when you can stay, Joe. And I
Yeah.
love that you guys are collaborating on all this. So, and Alex, thanks for putting your name your number up there. Those of you that want to pick Alex's brain, reach out to him. His number's up there. So see ya.